a part of your adjustment in living in you when you move here in America? Because I know I like to eat rice. I eat rice 3 times a day. So was it like when you were here? I know you're trying to
Yeah,
lessen the
I
amount.
grew bigger, wider, because of the food, big servings
I
of
know.
food. Then I got sick. I became diabetic. It's my genes too. So I
So
have
it's
to be
part of your
careful.
gene. Okay.
And I walk a lot too.
Oh yes, my
Yes,
goodness.
I walk and walk around the neighborhood.
Did you try walking from your house to my house?
Not yet, but I
Not yet.
might.
But I know one time I was going
That's right away.
shopping. I was going shopping, and what was that? I was going shopping. I think I was parked. Yeah, I was on my way back to my car, and then I saw a familiar face.
It was me.
It was you.
I love to walk.
Yeah.
Not because I had to be, I had to lose weight, but because I just love to walk,
Yeah.
even
Do-
when I was in the
So
Philippines.
is walking the only what do you call it, like pastime,
Yeah, I look
stress
at nature
reliever
while
for
walking.
you?
Just stay away from the cars.
That's true. Hey, but you know what? Drivers here are more. They are more
Careful.
disciplined.
Yeah, more disciplined. Yeah, they're
And they
careful.
don't honk at you.
No, because it's considered rude.
Yes,
You might
yes.
startle the person and give a
My
heart
goodness,
attack.
in the Philippines, it's like part of your life when you walk. It's like if
Oh.
there's no pedestrian, if there's no pedestrian lane, we have to like okay, run for your life.
For each other's safety.
Yeah.
The driver and the pedestrian.
Did you
Yes.
grow up dreaming of coming to America?
I don't know. I was 8 years old, 9 years old, and
Were
I
you
said,
already thinking about that?
I'm gonna live there in America.
Oh, really?
I wanna become a nurse. I'm
Oh,
gonna live
really?
there in America. When I grew up, I started getting scared of blood, and that's it. I didn't want to become
That
a
was
nurse
the end.
anymore.
That was
That's
the end
it.
of your nursing career.
Plus, math is never my good subject. So,
You-
but I became very busy,
Mhm.
and so when I was set up, I was ready to get married. So
Oh,
I was ready to take care of my personal life
That's
because I was serving the church for many years.
good. And you are second in the family, right? And you're
Yeah,
the
I am
only,
second.
the
in the
only
family.
girl in the family, daddy's girl.
Yes. It was, my dad cried at my wedding because then he realized the only daughter in the family will be leaving
Soon, yeah.
soon, leaving the family soon.
But thank goodness for technology, you know.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for Facebook and
Telephone,
Yahoo
Messenger.
Messenger.
I
Because
talked to my dad.
I was able to talk to them, to my family almost every week. Now I talk to them every day,
That's
and
good.
they're probably
It's
tired
free.
of me calling.
Sometimes I will try to understand them that if they're busy,
Mhm.
since night there and it's day here, I'm becoming more considerate.
Now that mommy and daddy Otor are gone, how often do you communicate with your siblings?
I talk to my youngest brother about 3 times a week
Mm-hmm.
since we have some just to keep in touch with the family in the Philippines and some payments of the house.
Ah, okay. You kept the house.
We kept the house, daddy's house and mommy's house,
Ah, okay.
so that if we go there for vacation,
Mm-hmm.
we have a place we can stay.
Mm-hmm.
So that has become a family house too, so that if any of my siblings will be visiting the city,
They have a
they have a
place
place to stay.
That's nice. That's a good idea. Let's talk about the American dream. Do you believe in the American dream? What is your idea of American dream?
My life has changed when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a little easier,
Mm-hmm. In terms of what?
finances, because then I got a job.
Yes.
And I didn't know I was gonna be able to help my family.
Mm-hmm.
Bought my parents a house for their retirement.
Mm-hmm. You even bought them a car.
I bought them a car. I'm sorry, Dad and Mom, it wasn't brand new, but
I'm
they
pretty
were
sure
able to drive it.
they appreciated it.
And especially when Mom and Dad were very sick,
Mm-hmm.
I was able to help them. And their exit from this world is kind of dignified.
Yes, because
I bought them St. Peter's
yes.
from Elena's sister. Yes, it helped.
Plugging for
Yeah.
my
So,
sister's business.
Aaron, yeah, it helped a lot. Dignified
Yeah.
exit.
So life is easier. It's not just for you and for your mom. Did the easy life or the improvement in life extended to the siblings and even to the children of the siblings?
Yes, in a way, I was able to help them. I was already helping them when I was a pastor, but of course,
Mm-hmm.
the resources was limited. But now that I'm here in the U.S., I can help them more than when I was working in the Philippines.
Yeah, and oh yeah, I remember. I'm sorry I interrupted. I was thinking of the about the car because I remember you bought the car or Dale bought you the car even without you driving it, right? Or was it you?
Yes, to entice me to really pass the test.
Yes, yes.
Because I was flunking the driving skills test.
You don't have to say that. Oh yes, actually,
Because I would
I
rather
flunked
ride the
too.
bus. My
Yeah.
husband didn't understand that I would rather ride the bus.
Okay, going back to the topic of riding the bus, it's very interesting because, in some gatherings, I used to be so proud of that. Oh, some Filipino gatherings, I would say, oh yeah, I just take the bus because for me, I thought at that time riding the bus was something to be proud of because I don't pay car loan,
No?
I don't pay
Car
parking fee.
repair.
I don't, yeah, no car maintenance, no
Maintenance.
gas expenses. I'm only spending $50 per transportation. So I thought at that time, which is still true to this day, that taking the bus is still is still cheaper and more practical.
And yet then you just sit down. You don't have to think about maneuvering the car,
Exactly.
about traffic and
Yeah, no,
everything.
no stress in driving.
You know, stress in driving.
However, I learned from some people that some Filipinas are kind of like looking down on you
If you ride the bus.
if you ride the bus. And I was surprised because these Filipinas did not even have a car when they were in the Philippines. So, so
You know,
it was funny to me, but to be honest, Jess, it affected my self-esteem for a bit because in every gathering, there will be like what you call that? Like they would talk about cars, they would talk about their jobs and everything, and as you listen, it feels like you're the most lonely person there.
yes,
Did
yes,
you
but
get the same feeling? I did
no,
have
but
that
I'm
feeling.
not insecure about it because um, if I wanted to,
Exactly.
I'd buy a car, but I don't want to have a headache, stress,
Yeah.
and everything. Facing the traffic early in the morning.
But for a while, it did like I was.
But there was a time for a year or 2 years I was driving to work.
Yes,
I drove
remember
to
that.
work.
You even gave me a ride several times when I
Yes.
could. And yeah, I would agree with you that life is easier. I guess for everyone, even when you got here. Did you have did you have a difficult adjustment when you have to work because English is your second language. So
I can speak English. I taught English, but I have accent.
yes,
To the
that's our
Americans, to
issue.
the Westerners, you always have an accent because we Filipinos here, most of us are not born here.
Yes, that's our issues
So,
too. We have
You'll
accent.
I don't think you'll ever lose your accent,
I don't
Filipino accent. And I'm not embarrassed.
Me either.
Yeah.
Who would be embarrassed? Hey, some people think
I'm not
that Filipino
from this
accent
country.
are the sexiest accent.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Like, long hair. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is kind of a sensitive topic and this is just a one question that I'd like to ask. During the time that like the Asian hate was just so like always in the news, in the media. Did you fear that somebody would just come to you and slap you or attack you just like what other people were doing in New York or California?
I read it in the news and I heard it on TV but I never felt it because nobody mistreated me.
That's
But
good.
of course, when the pandemic started, we stayed home most of the time. We just get out to work. We don't even stay in the groceries for a long time. And we told our families and friends we're not gonna gather and celebrate birthdays, Thanksgiving with a lot of
Yeah.
group of people because we want to we don't want to be sick. We want to be safe. Yes, we were very conscious
Yeah,
about
we were wearing
keeping each
masks.
other
Yeah.
safe. We
Yeah.
wore masks and had rubbing alcohol all the time, sanitizer, rubbing alcohol at work
I'm
face
just
shield.
glad that I'm glad that you didn't feel fear. You were not scared and you were not mistreated because you're Asian.
I think it depends upon where you are at in the US.
That's true. I guess we're lucky or
We're
more
lucky,
fortunate.
yeah.
We're blessed that we
Nobody
are in
yelled at
this.
me. Nobody tried to run me over with their cars.
Yes. Yeah.
And but then I stayed away from a group of people. I pray a lot, social distancing,
Yes.
and praise God, we've been protected,
Yeah.
and God listened to our prayers.
Yes. For your I know you have nieces and nephews in the Philippines, and they probably idolize you for staying here in the U.S. That one day would want to come here in the U.S. too. What advice can you give them? I know times are changing, but
I know
you know.
it's better to have your degree there because
Mhm.
it's difficult to get a degree here. So then, if you have a degree there, when you come here to work, you can always find a job. And then, if you want to go to back to school, you can always go back to school, but you can have a job
So your
whenever you
advice
have a
is
degree.
to before coming here, if they're gonna come here, have a degree
To
there.
have a degree there.
Did your degree made you more competitive here? Did it made you land a
I
job
found a
easily?
job because
Easily?
I had a degree.
Okay. And then I know that you enrolled for a was it like a master's?
Associate's degree. I had a master's degree in the Philippines in counseling.
Mm-hmm.
And when I work at the child care provider,
Mm-hmm.
they advised me, the manager and the owner
Mm-hmm.
advised me to go back to school. And it was free, so I did. I
Mm-hmm.
took an associate's degree in early childhood at Penn Valley.
How has the education here help your career?
Experience wise, and I learned a lot of things and helped me more in my career path
Mm-hmm.
as child care provider.
Mm-hmm.
I could have changed and taught in the middle school, but I'm comfortable right now
Okay.
where I am at. So, and they the company gave me a salary increase after I finished school.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they paid for your job, and after you finished your school,
Mark,
oh no, no, not job. They
MARC
paid for
paid
your
for my
degree.
education, for my
Yes.
degree, the books and everything.
And then after finishing within what 2 years? Did you finish it in 2 years?
Probably took me 3 years,
3 years?
because I was a full-time employee.
When you went back to school, the company paid for the tuition fee and everything.
It was a government
It was the government. So it was
subsidy.
Okay. And then after that, once you finished, the company gave you an increase.
Salary increase.
Nice.
Yes. And a card from my coworkers with money in it.
Oh.
Congratulations. You made it. I like the card, but I like the money inside the card better. I appreciate
Yes,
that.
Americans are very generous, just like Filipinos. When they give gifts, like cards. That's what I've realized.
Some.
Yeah. If you are to describe your life here in the U.S., how would you describe it?
Life in the US is very busy.
Mm-hmm.
And considering the weather and the seasons,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you face a lot of challenges. But the comfort of life and finances, there's a big difference from my life in the Philippines and from my life here.
Mm-hmm.
But I will never forget where I came from. I turned around and helped my family,
That's good.
especially my parents.
Yeah, I'm so glad we had this conversation.
It's none of my business, but some Filipinas who are living here now are not helping the family there. Maybe because they have jobs, and most of the members of the family have degrees. But even if my mom was teacher by profession and my dad was a pastor, I still helped them, especially when they retired, because they really needed money for the house and for medication and
Yes,
everything.
yes,
They were
that's
sick.
yeah, that's one
They
of
were
the
sick.
issues. Yes, I agree
I
with
couldn't
you.
just turn my back.
Mhm.
If I didn't turn my back when they were not sick, when they were healthy, I didn't turn my back when they were very sick.
That's very nicely said, Jess. And I wanted to ask last question for you. You know, we are no longer young. We're not getting any younger. So I wanted to ask you, do you guys talk about retiring soon, or and if ever, do you have plans of retiring in the Philippines? Did you, when you moved here, when you moved here, was it set in your mind that I'm going to stay in the US, I will die in the
I
the thing
always
that
thought of going back and retiring there. But plan A, retire there. Plan B, retire here. Whether both plans will happen or not, by God's grace, whether we live in the Philippines or we retire here, it's still in my mind to save money for my old age.
that's true.
Because now that my parents are already there with the Lord, it's time for me to save for my
For yourself,
retirement.
yeah.
Because who's gonna take good care of us? Of course,
Yes.
God will never turn back on His children who help out the
That's true.
parents, especially. But we, God gave us the wisdom to take good care of things.